My buddy Bradley came over with his RX7, and as seen on this clip, it looked absolutely amazing. What was the closest thing to describe to a modern day Batmobile? Ever since that moment, I knew I wanted to build one. And so I bought this RX7 here behind me, and it was completely ruined on the inside and out. So I decided that I wanted to go for it because it was decently priced, and I knew that with the context I had, I could make something awesome. So I sent the motor out to Kyle Mohen to get it completely built. I bought a brand new wire harness and all of the supporting mods to build this car to actually be a powerful but awesome looking car. We got the motor back, we've got all the parts for it. We have to install all the parts on it and get this thing running. But not only that, I have an entire body kit for it that I want to make it turn into exactly what I saw. But I also hope that this pushes you to chase your dreams. And that's why I love wearing my hat, No Limits. I always love to push No Limits. And I actually am going to be making an entire line for this RX7 build. And I hope you stay tuned for it. But we're going to build it now. It is part 4 of the RX7 build. Today we have Briar, we got Lewis, we have me and Nate all working on the car together. The goal is to get the motor inside of the car, dress it up. Oh, I think that's it. Lewis is cleaning up the throttle body right now.
Yeah, look how nice that looks.
Oh wow, yeah, that does look good.
It just needs a little bit of love.
You look even better. So beautiful. So the reason why we're cleaning all of these parts is because this is one of the dirtiest motors and engine bays I have ever seen. And even like Kyle Mohen said,
probably one of the dirtiest motors I've seen in the past year or two.
So we're cleaning literally every single part and getting it ready for the brand new motor that has come in. So we don't put dirty parts on clean parts. But also, another thing that I didn't know is that a lot of these parts have to be replaced. So in the meantime, while the motor was being built, I ordered a bunch of new parts like turbo, injectors, sensors. We need to redo the chassis harness. The motor obviously had to be rebuilt. So basically, all of those parts are literally on their way, or if not here. And right now, we're just getting everything prepped for the new parts to go on. Briar is working on the fuel pump. Fuel Lab sent us out pretty much everything we need to install the fuel pump, fuel regulator, pretty much everything we're gonna need to supply the fuel for this motor. If you didn't know, RX-7s actually take a lot of fuel. Their tanks have 22-gallon tanks. So they're absolutely huge. Fuel Lab sent out their 500 liter per hour brushless fuel pump, and it fits most stock applications, and you don't have to do a lot of huge changes to your vehicle, so you can really just plug and play it. And that's what's really cool about these, because usually when you push this much fuel, you have to do such huge changes to your car, but you don't have to do it with Fuel Labs. So it's what I have in the Corvette, it's what I have in the RX-7, it's what I'm gonna have for all my vehicles.
So we need to feed this through the top of the pump. We're gonna have to make a hole somewhere. We need to make a hole this sized. The only thing is, there's a hose here, there's gonna be some hoses running here, hoses running here. We need to find a spot that makes sense for this to sit, because if we drill it wrong, we're gonna drill into this or drill into some of these lines or something like that. So we just gotta find the perfect spot that it's accessible and doesn't break any other system of the pump.
When Briar gets the Fuel Labs fuel pump in, we're gonna be taking off all of the stock lines. We're gonna be running AN lines all the way up. I'm not gonna be doing E85 right now. 91 is great. It shoots good flames, they'll make enough power for my power goals, and it's everywhere. And the 85 burns really fast, and I don't have any near me. So we're gonna get those AN lines on, and once we get the AN lines on, the whole fuel system should basically be done before, other than the wiring. So yeah, good luck, Daddy. Hey, you look like you're wearing my shirt.
You're wearing mine.
No, you're wearing my shirt.
Whose shirt?
In the last video, ACT sent us one of their brand new upgradable twin disc clutch for the RX-7, which can stand up to 700 foot-pounds of torque. I'm literally the first person to have one. We forgot a vital piece that we needed, so they overnighted the flywheel to us, and now that we have it, we were able to actually install the clutch. If you're interested in this clutch, it will be available for the RX-7 in 2 months. ACT, in literally, I think less than 24 hours, they got the part to us and we're gonna install it now. The product they created was brand new, so it's kind of probably why I wasn't part of the kit. We're probably gonna be one of the first, if not the second people to install this on an FD RX7. So I'm gonna open this thing up, let's get it in. We're actually, I think right after we get this in, the motor goes in the car.
Oh wow.
That's exciting. Damn, that's all we needed. That one piece right there.
That's beautiful.
So look at this thing. Look how beautiful this is.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this is the whole clutch here.
What's super cool about this is that this is sprung for both of them, whereas the plates that we would get on your Corvette has this set up on each plate and it's a little bit bigger. That's neat how they have that.
All right, 210. So we have to do another 100 pounds on that?
25 degrees, so here.
From that?
Yeah,
that
from
210.
25 degrees would be
so that means
350. So if we go from here
hold on,
to here.
Hold on. Hold this real quick. You're gonna love me for this.
You got a big old bar?
The inner me and you is, I feel like, very common things we would do, but I want you to see it. all right, hold on, wait.
Okay, get on here.
So should I zero it out real quick? Hold on, go one click. How many dudes does it take to torque a freaking rotary? All right, sick. So we got the flywheel on, and now the clutch goes on. Thank you, ACT, for sending that part out. Now we can get the motor in the RX-7. Lift with your knees. I don't taste bad behavior.
Oh, there you go.
See? We're in.
We're in.
Yeah. All right, guys, this is a fake non-candid high five because we did it.
Yeah, buddy.
But that was the second time we did it. But it's sick, like we're stoked. As of right now, it is day 3 of working on getting the motor running. I'd say the wiring is definitely the one thing that's gonna hold us back here, but we're gonna assemble the entire motor for where it can be ran, but it just needs the wiring. We're just trying to find out where all these go, doing some cleaning. Nate's making some brackets, and we still got a lot of work to do. So I'm finishing up the Fuel Labs fuel pump system. All we have to do is install it, and then the whole fuel system from the fuel pump is done. Then we have to do the lines, and the fuel system from there should be good. So Nate right now is mocking up the intercooler and radiator setup as we got the V-mount. Intercooler's going like this, radiator's going like this. So it's gonna be a V-mount style. And we're just kind of fitting everything up, make sure everything fits, because he's the fab guy. We wanna make sure everything works. While he's here, I'm gonna start dressing up the motor here, start getting the water pump set up, start putting the thermostat on, probably put the power steering pump on. It's trying to just dress it up now. We just trying to make sure we don't put anything on the motor that's gonna make it harder for us to work on it. But as of right now, there's some things that we can't control. So we're just gonna start putting it together, and we have to take something off, and so be it. But it looks like that most of everything we need to access will be accessible, even if I put it on. This is sick. Yeah, this is a really cheap kit too. So I did go budget on this part. Cooling is important, but I also didn't want to spend like $50,000 on this build. Good old inexpensive one. That looks pretty good. I like this. I'm probably gonna get a comb for this just so I can clean it up. I want to. We have coil packs that we got, the aftermarket ones, and they're actually kind of big. He's creating a bracket for them to sit like this. He found that the best spot was gonna be right in this area, where most of the stuff we have over here isn't probably stuff that we need. I got the fuel pump installed. All we have to do is the wiring for it. We might do an AN line going there, but all the return lines are gonna stay the same. So we're not gonna connect these as of right now, but we know that everything for the fuel pump is done. We do have to connect the Fuel Labs controller, as this is a brushless fuel pump. So we're probably gonna put that up here and mount it somewhere over here. And because it's just so flat, it's probably not even gonna be seen. All right, it's the end of night 3. This is where we're at right now. We're hesitant on putting on everything else, but we've been trying to just figure out all the sensors. We've been ready to kind of throw these on. We just want to know the vacuum lines. Rotaries are very, very complicated, but very, very simple at the same time. There's very few things going on, but there's also a lot of vacuum lines. There's a lot of weird sensors that I actually have never heard of before that we're probably not going to be using, but we're able to get a majority of it together. We got the pulley on, the main pulley. We'll probably put the water pulley on, but that pulley didn't look the best, so we actually painted it. We want everything to kind of look good in the engine bay, so we're painting a lot of the stuff so it looks good, and we're cleaning everything, because preferably we don't want everything to be dirty in there. From my experience of building the Corvette, having stuff that's dirty, getting on the clean stuff is just not the best. But yeah, we just gotta wait for some parts to come in, and we're gonna continue slowly but surely just finishing this thing. We're really just so close to it. So we just need some parts. So the wait begins. So in the next 2 days, we're gonna be sending this car out for wiring. So everything we need to do is just putting the car completely together so we can get that out. Just all the extra parts that we have, we just have to put it on the motor, plug up some of these. I think we ordered some parts for the fuel lines so we can get the fuel lines made. We have to figure out the vacuum system, so that's something we do have to figure out. I believe we have the plug for this too, and a lot of this other stuff I really feel we have really everything for. We just need to start just plugging everything together. And then this car will be ready to go to get wired. We have the hot side in for the turbo, so we'll be able to actually fit it on and see how big it is. Oh my God, this thing is so big. It's things like these little adapters that we need that hold back the entire project, where we get these aftermarket knock sensors, because these ones cost like $250 each, but these ones are for your normal Chevys that basically like 20, 30 bucks. So we're gonna be putting these on for the time being in case we need to upgrade to some of the better ones. And so those fit right here. So I'm going to torque that on, and then this will go on top of it. Since I got the hot side for the turbo, I'm gonna put the turbo on here and try to assemble it completely, so then I can put the turbo on there and then we can see if it fits. So here is the Garrett turbo. So we're gonna put the hot side on, and then we're gonna see if it actually will work and it will fit here, because we might need to fabricate the frame rail just to make it fit, but we'll see. You know, that's just how big the turbos are now these days. Dude, everything is so close to this, like this heater line and this thing. I have to wrap that with heat shield. Yeah, I have to buy heat shield. Hey Siri, remind me to buy heat shield. So now I get to clock it how I want to. All right, if anything, do you want to spread this apart so I can connect it? I was able to pull the turbo out. We're able to disconnect it, and I got the turbo kind of fitted on right now. There is some things I do have to move just to make it fit right now. I think I'm able to move this down. I don't want to move it and scratch the turbo, but right now it's fitting and it looks actually pretty freaking insane. I want to get an air filter here, so I might potentially move this whole intercooler over and try to fit it into this little area. I saw someone do that, and then you're able to fit like the intake right here, and then you have like ram air going in, because like right here, that whole area will be open for the intake, which is awesome. So this will be sick, because then it will actually close this off. Then I have to make a little bracket here and a little bracket here to hold the air in. That will be sick. So, but as of right now, we want to get it running. So I think it will run right now fine like this, but we just have a little bit more work to do to get everything back together, and should be almost ready to send out to the wiring.
So we have the turbo mocked into place, but now we need to get oil and coolant lines to the turbo. So we're trying to put half the engine together to see what's gonna get blocked, what's not. And then we're gonna be grabbing oil from over here, routing it down here, and I'm getting a bunch of measurements right now, and then we're gonna have a professional hydraulic line dude come out and make us a bunch of hoses.
Got Eben here. He works at K&E Hose and Fittings, and he's brought all the stuff down for us to do all the lines that we want to do.
Since that's so short distance, trying to go from this adapter, and then we're gonna have to go from, you know, AN and then that little rubber fitting into AN to that. What if we just change these brass adapters, thread it into the turbo, and it just has 5/8 barb on the end of it, and we just get like metal lined bar, you know, just like hose fitting.
Yeah.
And literally just like normal hose pretty much. Barb.
Do you like the sound of that?
So right there.
I'm listening.
And then
paying
from
attention. Let's see.
All right, so we're gonna put the pressure sensor on here. Let me take this off.
So where does the sensor go on the?
I think it goes right here on the front.
What?
So right there. So I'm gonna get.
Oh, so instead of reading off of this, we're just gonna get electronic signal for the ECU.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we're trying to do here, yeah. Okay, so this piece here is the oil drain for the turbo. So when it went down, the end of this hose connected to a piece right there where that blue tape is at, right? And what was on the end of that wasn't something you can really screw onto. But I had that same piece that looked exactly like this, welded on with a little AN fitting. So now we can actually put an AN fitting on the end of a new hose that looks like this and just screw it right on. So the oil drain is gonna be sealed perfectly. And this thing looks nice, so thank you.
Sick.
Thank
yeah,
you to
Russ
K&E.
hooked us up. He took it. He got it. He got it covered. It looks great.
Well, you can do it too.
Oh yeah.
Everyone at K&E can
Everyone
do
at
it.
K&E can do it. But
Yeah.
He got to do this. He got to put his hands on something. You know, so that's pretty cool.
What exactly did you do here
It's
to make
called
this work?
it's called brazing.
You brazed it.
So basically, you get a braze rod that has flux on it, and then you make sure you clean the crap out of it, you know, and then you set it down in there.
Yeah, it actually looks really good. Like I can't find an
that,
imperfection in it. So right after the hoses are made at K&E Hose and Fittings, this car is going to be sent out to the wiring guys, which is a buddy that I met not too long ago. He's going to be helping me out. On the wiring harness, you're going to have plugs on it, and some of them aren't going to work and fit with some of the aftermarket parts that we got. So to make both aftermarket pieces work, we have these guys that come with the parts. So basically every sensor and everything that is receiving a signal from the wire harness has something where you're able to plug it in. It's basically like, not a pigtail, I'm not sure what it's called, but you basically can repin and make this, which is going to connect to the coil pack, work together. So the wire guys are going to be receiving the coil packs. They're also going to be receiving the connector that will actually go into the coil pack, which will work. And they're going to be receiving the wire harness, which, if you look at it, has 5 connectors, and this one has 3. They're gonna have to figure out which one of those 3 wires is gonna have to be the 3 that are most important for this to work properly. That's why I'm giving them everything they need so they can wire it up properly. So I'm gonna leave that in there. This is gonna go back in its home here with this most important piece that it makes everything work. So I'm supplying them with that. Every sensor in the car is gonna be supplied with that little piece there. Time to get packing. I think this is good right here.
Sounds good, mate.
Yeah? Hell yeah, brother.
Good to meet you too.
Yeah. Damn, you know what's crazy? When I left, I packed a jack and an impact just in case the tire blew on the trailer. And I didn't realize it blew and I didn't know when it did, so I drove up probably quite a while late. I just met up at my buddy Mamoon's house. Met him on Instagram through a friend. He says he works on cars. He's got a buddy that can help him out too on working on this car and to be able to actually wire the whole thing up. So we're here now to deliver that. Slight update. Now we're on our way to the shop. He is going to be taking the truck back to the house while I'm gone. So while I'm not building my cars and filming on my channel here, I'm filming on the other channel, Funk Bros, and I'm always traveling. So after this, I'm gonna be leaving for 5 to 6 days, filming videos on the Funk Bros channel. But in the meantime, this car is gonna be getting worked on by Mamoon and his buddy, and they're gonna be doing all the wiring and all the other stuff that I couldn't get to, but also that I don't know much about, that I'd have to do a lot of learning lessons on. And my goal is to not run into problems with these vehicles. I wanna try to get them done close to as fast as possible, but also I wanna learn as much as I can on the way. Let's give you a full tour. Some of the old chassis parts that's here. Let me put it back. So here's all of the sensors. Here's the old chassis harness here too. Just wanted you to see everything. The wire, this was the wire harness for the fan. Obviously you don't need it. I just wanted to put everything in here so you could see what it was prior. It was absolute dog crap. So we don't want to use that. This is the chassis harness that does need to be redone, but I would like to be able to use. Because I'd like to try to keep it as stock as possible, you know? But obviously, I'm not saying we have to use the wiring, but like, I'd like to use all the components that are attached to it, if they're needed, right? Like, I would like to put AC in this if it's possible in the future. Like, I think that would be the sickest thing ever. Who has a freaking crazy Bridgeport fire-breathing car with AC in it? Here are the AEM performance gauges. These are the brand new ones that AEM make. Basically the new AFR gauges. So we're gonna put these in the car too. But you can see everything is marked AGT. You obviously know that goes in the exhaust. The coils, you know where those are gonna go. Fuel regular, that's on there. Everything's basically marked. I then took them through every part that needed installed and made sure they had everything to carry out the work. Good luck with the car, man. Thank you guys. I'm excited.
Hell yeah, we're gonna get this thing going.
Hell yeah. It has been a few weeks now and I'm about to pick up the RX7. Right now, I'm about to see the car that I haven't seen in so long and she's almost turnkey ready. So, hey buddy, how you doing? How's she looking?
So that one harness that you brought, this one is sitting right here, running all along here. These are all the ones that were unplugged right here. That's to tie them up right here.
Okay, so we'll probably just like shrink those into like a big clump and then like hide it.
Yeah.
As of right now, I'm just kind of finding out what is what and I know where to connect it and then what exactly to do with those. I'm glad I have all this room because I know what these are. These go right here. These are the sensors that sense the cam position sensor, but it doesn't have a cam. So we got the gauges in, we got the air fuel ratio, we got the boost gauge. You can see everything basically. There it is. Oh, I feel the fans kick in. Look at them all on. That's so sick. Car is almost ready, like let's say turnkey. So when I get all of the fuel lines and everything else in, she should be good to go. We're gonna take this home and we are gonna work on getting everything routed, put on, fuel lines done. My buddy right here is gonna be doing the fuel lines. You came over and you started getting on the measurements. So when we get it there, we're gonna get it done at his shop. so we get everything done like perfectly. Once it's all together, we'll be able to go for our first start, but that's once fab is done. Once after I do the downpipe and I do the intercooler piping. There's still a lot more work. There's a lot more work than I thought there was going to be. When are you leaving here?
Probably later tonight. Still gotta.
Can I just do some work on it tonight, right here? All right, so right now we're just putting in some work, trying to get like some of the harness put together fully, so when we get the parts together, we can just like plug and play it right away. So there's like a couple things we're going over, figuring out how we're gonna mount everything, move everything, and just set up the carb. All right, we're moving her out. We got the work that we needed done. We got most of all the connectors connected that needed to be connected that we didn't have prior, but now everything is done. Basically, everything's done, ready for wire, but we're gonna put it in the car and take her home. So it is about a day later. We got the car loaded, and I've just now arrived at the fabricator's shop. We're gonna be dropping off the car and meeting him for the first time. Are you Tony? This thing looks sick. Hello? New phone, who dis? Just kidding. So as of right now, we're going over all the details of exactly what would need to happen for us to get this car completely done for the intake side and the exhaust side. So that means the downpipe, moving the manifold over a little bit to allow more room for the intake, and then also allowing it to get more ram air. So when the air goes through, shoves the air into the intake and you get fresh cold air, or at least fresh air. It matters what the degrees of that current day is, but at least the air isn't sucking in all the air from where the engine's at, and it's behind the radiator, behind the intercooler, so it's not all hot air, so that will make it better anyways. There you go, guys. So we're just kind of temporarily setting everything up so we can see it. Your boy's gonna get to work and be able to do all that stuff. So the focus right now is gonna be on the downpipe. Now we transferred our focus from the intercooler. As that's completely finished, we're now able to turn our focus to this. So we're going to be creating the downpipe. It's going to be a 4-inch downpipe. Wastegate's going to be connected to it. We'll get into it then, but that's what our focus is right now. Does this stick out a good amount? Yeah, maybe a tiny bit more would be nice, you know? A few weeks later, I returned to IA Auto Works to collect the car with all of the fabrications done. How did it all go? Good? IA Auto Works specialize in Supras and M3s, but were eager to help me rebuild my RX7. If you're in the area and need great work done by a great team, make sure to reach out to these guys. I appreciate IA Auto Works for helping me on my car and making this possible. This is where I'm going to be getting all of my fuel lines done, and basically everything else that I would need to get done on it. Power steering, oil lines, whatever needs to get done. Another thing that I am really happy to announce is that for a long time I have been wearing my own merchandise for about 6 years now, and I have not made anything new in like over a year now. And I'm so happy to announce that I'm making RX7 shirts, but like with the quality being exactly what I want it to be. To where this stuff, I literally picked it out. It's exactly what I want. Pre-orders are now. If not now, you can actually buy them. But
Oh my freaking gosh, is that an RX7?
it is an RX7. With the help of K&E hose and fittings, we're figuring out how to route the fuel lines to the injectors and fuel rails.
This is all that has to happen. Is this line right here needs to go into the bottom of this. Oh, it goes so slow.
Yeah, you're good. You ain't good.
That was beautiful too.
So now you can do.
That's nice. I like that. Well,
Hell yeah.
as long as the throttle cable isn't there,
Yeah.
then it's going to be great. We had to redesign the entire fuel system as we were learning some things about what a fuel pressure regulator does and how it should all be ran, and this is what we got so far. It actually is a really clean system. Got the in, and then got the out. Pretty easy.
Yeah! Oh yeah!
So while I was gone, Eben got to work on putting up the rest of the lines.
So this connects to the bottom. What is this called down here again?
That's just the oil drain for the
So
turbo.
oil drain.
Yeah.
So this flange, I cleaned it up, put a nipple in it. So this will go on the bottom of the turbo down here, and then it makes a small, pretty sharp loop, and when it will connect down to the bottom of that.
Yeah, cool.
And then
I like that. And we also clocked the center of the turbo slightly sideways. So if you see, this is the top of it right here. It's pointing a little bit that way, but that makes it easier for us to get this coolant line from there to here. And then it's easier for us to get these coolant lines and the oil drain lines into where they're supposed to go. So that's what we decided to do to make everything else easier. I think she's done here. All we need is the oil inlet line, but I have to get this flange for it, and then we'll create that line. But the fuel lines are done, the oil lines, and I think everything is basically
everything
done.
else we can finish on the lift at your house.
Yeah, so we're gonna do the rest of the fuel lines at the house, which will be easy. All right, so the car is now back at home, up on the lift, and pretty much everything has been mocked up. It's now time to take everything off when it comes to the turbo, the intake manifold, pretty much everything that we would need to have done to get it to this point, to where it actually could run if we put it together. So now we're gonna take everything off, and then we're gonna put it all back on to exactly where it's at, and actually tighten it down for real now. It's gonna be a lot more work than we anticipated, but we're gonna do that. EGT. For this project and for all projects, I have never really made a clean checklist like this. And these are all the things that I basically need to do in order for the entire car to be done. But really I need to focus on just everything that is the engine, fuel, cooling, electric, maybe tuning. So this is all I'm gonna be focusing on in this video to get this car running, which you probably have seen a lot already, but it's been a lot to get here, really. This has been amazing, and I appreciate you all for watching. It has already been such an amazing and fun experience. I've learned so much getting into this. I knew nothing about rotaries, and now I feel I know so much. I feel like I know so much about cars now. I made this whole list myself. Like, that's crazy, like, to think about. And I might have missed a few things or spelled them wrong, and I still have a lot more things that I did not think about, but I'm super happy with the progress that I've made because of this, and I hope you're enjoying it. I'm going to be running the wiring, because once we put this intake manifold on top, everything that is under that area is going to be blocked. And I need to make sure I put everything together that's in this area so I don't have to reach down to the hard to reach areas and make this any harder than it needs to be. So I'm going to route the wiring. All right, there's a couple cool things I want to show you that I did that I need to go grab before I can continue doing what I'm doing. This is a coolant line, and we brazed on an AN fitting so it can connect to coolant that goes on the turbo here. And this was stock for the car. This is what K&E hose and fitting does, and that's what they did for me, is they were able to braze that fitting on right there. We're gonna move that back to over here, to like this part right here, which will make it easier to make a line that will fit for that. That's what they said would be best to do. Also going to be picking up the inlet flange for the turbo. Also for the oil turbo line that goes into the turbo. Editor note, I want to keep this in. You can even keep that in. The reason why for the oil inlet, there's a restrictor valve. The reason why they have that is because if the oil pressure from the motor goes into the turbo, that it can actually blow through the seals and the bearings and everything, and it could actually start leaking into your turbo, and your turbo will start burning oil. So that's why there's restrictors that go into the inlet, the top part right here. At the bottom, the drain is usually really big, and that's why they do huge AN lines like this, for instance. This is the drain, and then this is the inlet. So they're really, really small size so they don't blow the seals. I'm gonna make sure that fits. And then this is my favorite part. With this very, very inexpensive V-mount kit that I bought, I could not figure out how I was going to run all of these coolant hoses that go from here to here. And it's just a mess here. Like, I just didn't know how I was gonna get measurements for it. So what I did is I got metal rod like this, and I was able to bend it and tape it together to know that these are the two connecting points that I would need for it to be the hose I was looking for. So basically, this is the one hose that needs to look like this, and the other hose needs to look like this bendy old thing. At least we know the angles of what I need, and if I can get something close to it, that's good. All right, so I went out, and this is what I got. I got all of these coolant lines, hoses. Hopefully they work. I know this one's gonna work for sure, but I gotta go do this. This is $200 of hoses, and then I also got all the fittings from Eben, AKA K&E hoses. So I've got all these for the fuel lines. I'm gonna run all the way to the back. And then I also have these to hold some of the wiring to the wall right here to keep it nice and clean. I think I have some bigger ones, but I think that should be good. I want to find out which one of these actually fit for what I have going on up in here. See if they work. So these are the 2 hoses that I bought that actually work great for my application. So if you're looking to do the same thing and you're doing this, these work. So I'm gonna go install these now. So yeah. All right, so one of the biggest things that I always worry about is things rubbing on each other, chafing, things like that. And this thing clears literally everything right now. It clears literally the water pump right here. It clears this bolt. It clears this right here. Everything is fitting on perfectly, and I am really happy with that. This is a 2004 Ford Ranger hose. That's what I used in my car. So now I'm gonna cut this one. It's got a 1-year warranty on it, but I did cut it, so don't tell anybody. Okay, now my main focus is gonna be the fueling system. I wanna completely complete it, so I have to run the fuel lines from the front of the motor all the way back to the fuel tank. So I have Eben, and he's telling me how I should route the fuel lines, send and return, as we were figuring out how to do everything here. But because he brought all the lines and hoses and fittings, he's showing us how we're gonna do it. And he's gonna show you guys exactly what we're gonna be doing.
So basically we're going to be eliminating all of the original hard lines. So the fuel basket up top, which is located, I don't know if you can see up in here. So this is the original fuel basket. So we're going to be eliminating all the original stuff. So we're actually going to start with a 5/16 hose, which we can connect to the top of the fuel basket, and then we'll run it down. He can tuck it however he wants to. But basically we'll come down here, and we're going to stop the 5/16 hose right around here. And then there's a barb they make where it's like a 5/16 to a 3/8, so it's like a little jump size. So then we'll connect it in here, and then we got our fuel line right here, which will connect to that barb that we are getting. And then we can then proceed to actually, you know, run the lines however he wants it. So the original lines that I made at our shop, you can actually see where they end right here. Yeah, these hoses right here. So this one right here, the one you're grabbing is a send. So this will actually connect directly into that hose that I made, and that fuel filter will sit right around here. And then basically the one that we're running that's new will connect straight to here. So dude, it's gonna be so much easier than the factory. Like, it's gonna be so crazy. I'm super happy to say that the fuel system is now fully complete, but the last thing that I need to do before I fully finish it is purge the system. So that means because these lines are brand new and they're freshly cut and they've been open to whatever dust or debris could be inside of them, we need to get them out. From the fuel pump, I'm gonna be flushing out this line here that goes to the fuel filter, and I'm gonna be cleaning out anything before it, so I know that this is completely clean. And then I'm gonna plug this back in, and then I'm gonna run the entire system back out to where this is the return. I'm gonna run at least a gallon of fuel, and this is what my tuner told me to do, is to purge the system, because right now is the point that there could be more crap and gunk to get in my injectors to clog them up than ever. And they're brand new injectors, so we don't wanna do that. So now I'm gonna be using my power probe to power the fuel pump to give it the power it needs so it can start purging the system. All right, made a connection. Oh yeah, fuel's coming out, look at that. Beautiful, so it looks like we got enough out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go under, tighten that, and then we're gonna run it through the entire system. I'm gonna make sure everything's tight, because it looks like this is not even attached on, so it probably would've leaked on. Look, this isn't even attached, so I probably have to put that on so it doesn't leak out of there. So we're gonna put that on, and we're gonna purge the whole system. All right, so purge one went well. I just now tightened everything for the fuel system in the front, and I'm now gonna be purging the entire system, hoping that I tightened everything. But let's not worry about that. I think that happened. Oh, here goes nothing. Oh, there it goes. Ooh, did it go everywhere?
No, it went in.
All right, I'm gonna check to see if there's any leaks up here. So that would be not good, as they say. Oh, nope, it's leaking. Leaking right here. I'm so glad. If this happened while the car was running, it'd be on fire. Oops. Now we can light it on fire to get rid of it real quickly. So let me just grab the torch.
My friend came to the door, she said, "Oh man, the building is on fire." I said, "No, what? I got my 3 kids and we bounced out."
We get to finally put the turbo on for real. I'm gonna throw her on and we're gonna test fit her up. We're gonna get all of the coolant lines and the oil lines that go to the turbo in and out, all done right now. So right now I'm gonna be putting in the downpipe for the turbo, and I'm also gonna be putting in the wastegate so I can make the wastegate vacuum lines. Just putting the car together, man. Okay, so I'm just in here, inside the area where the wiring was supposed to be done properly, and it is so messed up that there are random wires coming in and out and are wrapped around to where I can't even use this grommet properly, and there's other things going out of the firewall that aren't going through this. And this is it's not super messy, but it is to a point where it's like, what were you doing? And why couldn't you just connect the ECU and then just put it over tidy? I don't know what they did and didn't do. And I remember when I picked it up, we didn't have some things that were connected. And I'm looking at this whole diagram now. Can I see this real quick? And there are very easy instructions here, which I did not see when I got this. Like, I would have, if I opened this up and saw this, it would have been not that big of a deal. And this has everything that you would need to know on how to wire up everything, like pressure sensors, O2 sensors, which I don't have an O2 sensor set up. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because one of these on here is specifically made for a pressure sensor, and that's not what was used. This random orange and gray wire was used, and that's what's supposed to be used for an O2 sensor, and now we don't have it because it was used for a pressure sensor and it's not made for a pressure sensor. So now if I'm finding that out, what else is gone wrong? And so I've made the mistake of potentially trusting someone that knew what they're doing, that might not have completely known what they're doing, and I'm not sure where I'm at. And I probably was all in good faith, and it's not hard feelings. Is now I just don't know where I'm at and what to do until I get to the point of turning the car over and starting it, and I'm on the phone with the tuner, and I'm going, is everything gonna work or is it not gonna work? I have an alternator plug here, and for some reason, my alternator has a completely different plug going into it, and I don't know why this wasn't utilized, because now I have a whole extra thing of wires here that I'm not utilizing, which I should have been. You know, why buy a whole brand new wire harness when I'm not going to use it? So those are the questions I have. Why is it like this? But these are the things we're kind of dealing with right now. So right now what I'm focusing on is the coil packs, which basically send the spark to the spark plug. I have to mount them to this area. I've already done some of the work already, but at least you'll be able to see what the process looks like of me mounting it to the side of the body, which I have to drill and then tap threaded rib nuts. So yeah. I went over my to-do list and I found out there are so many things on here that we have gotten done, but there are a few more things we need to get done in order for it to run. I'm gonna be focusing on the wastegate and the lines. Briar's gonna be focusing on the wiring and finishing all this up so the fans work. The fuel pump is like fully wired in. We have the trans fluid we're gonna put in. We're gonna put in the power steering fluid, finish up the rest of the power steering lines, which I just completely custom made. Got the wastegate here. We're gonna put the starter wire on. Just basically get everything ready for my buddy Brandon that is coming over to finish up the rest of the wiring. As you know earlier, a lot of the stuff on the car isn't fully completely finished. So he needs to add the O2 sensors, the EGT, the two-step switch, all the fun stuff to make this car work. But not only that, most importantly, we need to make the coil packs work. We have to replace one specific wire because the wire harness that we got doesn't work with our application for what we have, and I bought the wrong coil pack. So I had to buy another coil pack set, put the right ones in, and I have to get those rewired in to make them work. Back to work, boy. Capron decided to come in the shop and help out. He just was like, give me a job, let me do something. And what's really cool is I gave Capron the blow-off valve to put on, and this is his favorite thing to make fun of on cars. This is the sneeze.
Oh, the sneeze?
Yeah,
I always make fun of the sneeze.
So yeah, we have this horrible aftermarket one that came with the whole system that we're just gonna use anyways because blow-off valves aren't that important.
This is for
but
sound?
wastegates are. Yeah, so it's basically like sound. No, it basically
So you're just adding sound effects to your car for fun.
I guess so, yeah, in a way. But it's better for the turbo. That's what it's.
Can you change the sound? That'd be funny.
I think so, and I think I want to click this. Yeah, I know.
I need a hammer.
Now for the oil fill neck. Right now I'm going to be wiring the boost controller so the car can actually sense boost. All right, one of the other small things that needed to be done in this car, which was really important, was mounting the battery. That's one of the things that the old owner had gone wrong in this car is that the battery wires crossed because the battery was never mounted properly. So right now what we're gonna be doing is mounting the battery in the back. We're gonna be using these spacers to kind of move the battery tray up like an inch. So when you tighten it, the foam doesn't like squeeze down. So it actually sits properly. So yeah, it's gonna look great. Battery is fully installed now and it looks so good. I thought I wouldn't be so stoked on a battery, but I am. It looks so good, so I'm stoked about that. We're gonna clean up the back end, put the whole back together, and then the whole back of the car is gonna be done. The fuel, the battery, and now we're just gonna be working on the front where I'm installing the top of the intake manifold, this piece here, and I'm doing the vacuum lines here, which are basically running through everything, so stoked. This engine is completely different from anything else I've ever worked on. There are so many weird modules or devices or holes that are meant for certain things on this car, and I was able to figure out almost everything, and this is like the cherry on top, as I would call it. Like literally the cherry on top. It sits on top, it covers up everything. Once we put this on, like, it's kind of like there's really no going back, but if there is, it's gonna be a lot of hard work. So I got the go ahead that I'm pretty sure that we're good to do this and we can start putting this together. So yeah, this is exciting. It's exciting. You know, this is how ADHD goes. Well, I was working on the top, and now I'm gonna work on this now. So I'm gonna put the wastegate lines on. Woo! Honestly, I kind of cannot believe I'm at this point where I'm able to add oil into the motor, knowing that almost everything is done. This motor takes 4.6 quarts, so about almost all of this. Because we've added oil in it, I'm totally cool with adding the starter on now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna attach this, and what I'm thinking of doing is I'm probably gonna turn it over and see if we can prime the motor. So we're gonna put this on and see what happens. All right, so we found an issue. I wanted to double check to make sure. You're stepping in the oil, by the way. You can't, no, step out of it. The problem that we found here is before we wanted to put this positive on, I wanted to look in the video to make sure the positive and negative are on the right side, because this is so custom, you need to make sure for those things, and they're not. This is the positive and this is the negative over here. This is already as far as it could reach possible, and so for it to go over here is almost unlikely. So now I have to wait for my wire guy to come out here and do it, or I have to extend it myself, which is not the hardest thing in the world. I just wanted to be done right, so that's why I was thinking I could wait for him, but we're gonna try to do it ourselves, but that's kind of one of the bigger issues right now. I mean, I know this is not the best wire. Please don't judge me, guys. I'm just gonna get this done. But we could just like cut a piece off of this.
Man, speaker wire?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. That's what I'm saying, don't judge me. Okay, so as of right now, I temporarily just did this just to see if things are gonna work and it's gonna turn over and things go smoothly. I will fix that, but if anything, I'm thinking that Brandon, the wire guy, when he comes here, he's gonna be able to do it. Right now, I'm gonna put the car down and I'm gonna try to turn it over and see if I can push the oil through the system and see if I can actually prime the oil system so I can fill it properly. So for my first time, I'm going to turn on the battery. I think it sounds good. Okay, I think everything is good so far. I'm gonna get in and I'm gonna try to turn it over for like a second. Nothing should go off because I don't even have the ECU in, and the ejector's not even plugged in. Okay, this should turn over. Nope, nothing's happening. Okay, perfect. I'm glad that I know that this is not working. I'm literally turning the key and nothing's happening. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Nothing's happening. So what that's telling me is that this starter is not set up correctly and it needs to be fixed. So as of right now, I'm just gonna start continuing to assemble the car back together. Even though I won't be able to get like the best reading because I have to finagle the dipstick, I trust that anybody else can do this without having to take that apart. So I'm just gonna continue putting it together and get it ready for starting. We're just cleaning up the entire shop. So once we get Brandon here, we can literally tackle this and we'll know where everything is at and what is left to do. I'm also trying to find out if there's any other extra parts we might have misplaced somewhere so I can make this list bulletproof so I know that everything is done in order for this car to start and be able to drive when we have the base tune come in. So right now we're gonna diagnose some issues that I've been having on the car. Like I explained earlier, I tried to turn the key and the starter did not turn on. So we're gonna use the power probe, which is something I did not think of. to do to put on the starter and see if we can get it to start turning. I didn't think that the power probe could push that much power, I guess. It's just so
it can do
small.
The signal.
Okay.
So you're fine there.
It could do the signal. Oh, okay, so I put it on the signal and then I would try to turn it.
Correct.
All right, yeah. We saw the ground is right there, and we see that it's grounding itself twice, which is interesting, but it's good to go, so we're gonna test it now. Suki, what are you doing? Are you helping us? You helping us? Yeah. Oh. That's what I heard when I did the same thing. I heard that same noise. Mm-hmm. He told me when I got there, like, oh, I didn't want to turn it, I didn't want to put it on because I didn't want to mess it up. But maybe he might have done it and then crossed the wires and then burnt up the starter. So I don't know if that's a possibility.
It is. We'll look at the diagram for it.
Well, the diagram for the starter? Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I looked up the diagram for it.
You have it?
I can pull it back up if you want me to see it.
Yeah. One more thing we can check is you can get up into the car and turn the key. And make sure you do have signal coming here through this wire.
Oh, wow. So I think I might have simply just not pressed the brake and the clutch. That might have been the issue the whole time.
No, nothing.
Probably didn't work. I do have the entire handbook. This will tell you exactly where is what and what is what. But as of right now, we just want to make sure these things work. I saw the tack going crazy. So maybe the tack is somehow getting aground and it's jumping around, and that's not a good thing. I don't know what it is. I'm just guessing because I'm an idiot. As of right now, what we have been figuring out is that there are very bad grounds on this car. The battery is grounded to the strut tower over here, and it's not even sanded off at all. So basically, it's not even making like a good contact. But even if that was a major ground, it shouldn't be right there. It should be all the way up here, and there should be like a distribution block of a ground going elsewhere. I think that's right, but the ground should be all the way up here where everything could be actually physically grounded to it, or it should be grounded straight to the chassis. And these aren't grounded properly. Not only that, when we added power, it blew the main fuse here, so we think that the power is grounding somewhere and we don't know where because someone else completely did this. So we have to rip everything apart and figure out what's going on. All right, so I'm on my way to AutoZone. I have to grab a brand new main fuse for the car because it blew. I have to get brand new ground wire that goes from the battery all the way to the front of the car to the chassis because it wasn't done properly, so I need to get 20 foot of that. So we're gonna take the Honda. Oh, this is it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, have a blessed day.
Hey, you too. Well, that was fun. All right, thanks for the ride. So the main power wire ran to here, then it jumped from that to here.
Yeah, and its only source were these two wires, which were coming across here, and that fed the starter, which is not the correct way to do that.
Oh my God.
Don't have enough.
Yeah.
And that's why the fuse blew.
Oh, because they're trying to run all the power through there. Mm-hmm. After searching around the entire motor, we found out that possibly the reason why the motor is being turned into power and we can't find a solid ground is because A, the grounds were really bad, and B, we think that this got crossed because both power and ground are both black wires, so the wire guy that originally did this probably grounded this completely or powered it completely and then blew it, and then now everything is a power, and so is the entire unit itself. So we're gonna test to see if the starter works, but I just took it off, obviously, as you can see, it's in my hand, and we're gonna see what exactly is going on here.
That's working.
So the starter wire, you know the wire that is supposed to go into the ignition to actually start it? That wire runs across and I don't know where it goes to, but there's that wire, and I don't know, maybe if it's connected to something else that it shouldn't be. I will update you when I figure out what this is. But as of right now, I have no idea what it is. Ooh! So what was the overall issue?
I replaced the ground, so now I still need to do it.
Yeah, properly.
Final pass.
Yeah.
But you have the ground wire right there to the frame rail, where those other grounds used to be, and a new starter wire. You just bypass both issues.
Really? So the starter wire and the ground were both issues. So this is the ground that we just bought that run right now on the outside just to test to see if it works to the battery. And then we have the new starter wire that has been bypassed straight to the starter. And now everything works perfectly. So whatever was done prior was done incorrectly. So, but we're happy that things work. So I'm gonna continue on with my work and see what I can do next to be helpful to Brandon. All right, so a couple hours later, we have decided to completely replace the power wire that goes to the starter, and we decided to pull the starter. While I was pulling the starter power wire, all this other stuff came out. We have the ground here, this is the starter cable, this is the starter cable, and then look at all of this wire, like this is not even gonna be used. If there's anything I'm really learning from this, I want you to learn it through me. Just make sure to get the right people doing the right job. Find whatever ways you can figure out or find if they can do that and complete the job the way that you need it. I just don't want this happening to you guys, because right now I'm having to pay for it double. I'm having to redo literally everything that I believe I needed done. And I believe there are some things that for surely got done on here that were done right, but we don't know yet until this car turns on, starts, runs, and we know that everything works. And everything, the entire wire harness was completely put together by a different company. Just make sure to do your due diligence, do your research, make sure it's a good guy that knows to do their work. I've had Brandon here before. He did the Corvette. Corvette one's great. I know that I have the right guy for the job. Thank you, Brandon. So right now Brandon's working on the ignition harness. So these are our special little plugs here. So that's coming together nicely, and that's one of the things that we need to redo because the tuner told us that the wires are too thin and they can burn up if we go really hard. So we're doing these wires now. I'm doing the alternator wiring. I'm using the alternator wire that literally came with the harness that wasn't utilized, and we want to make sure everything works properly when we plug in. So we decided to start using that one. So I'm focusing on that, and that's the progress we made so far. We're gonna take a little break, but I just wanted to update. So my job here was to add in the ground cable. I looked on a couple forums and I found a point that you can ground it to. It was previously here on the shock tower, which doesn't make a good ground point for the entire vehicle, because all the way, otherwise there'd be a lot of resistance trying to actually get that ground to work properly. I found underneath the seat belt, there is a piece right here that you could ground to. So there's this piece here you can ground to, so I kind of shaved it off here, took the seatbelt bolt off as it's the same, and have to now find the bolt and then complete the system to ground it. And then, yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. So far, so good. These are all the 3 ground cables that were previously on the car that I just now switched out that had to be replaced. So I had to redo all of them, and I'm about almost done with this one, and I've got 2 more to go. As we were putting the car together, we ran into multiple issues, and one of them was when we put the clutch slave cylinder on, it completely leaked. The whole thing fell apart, and I decided I'm gonna buy another one. We put the other one on, and the same thing happened. But one thing I found out is that the throwout bearing wasn't properly connected to the clutch. But not only that, the whole assembly in here isn't completely and fully put together, and I'm gonna show you. If you look in here closely, you can see that the spring right now is not over that circle. And I just got it up to this point, and I didn't want to film anything because I was so scared if that thing fell off, then I'd have to probably take most of everything apart down here to try to get it on, because luckily there's a lot of access points, but still this is a huge setback from all the stuff. So I was able to move the spring, and so now what I'm gonna do on camera is show you where it's supposed to go. As you can see, it's supposed to be in that little circle there. I'm gonna be moving it up here like this. Damn, that is tough to get in there. Oh, there it goes, right on. So that's how it's supposed to be. That piece is not where it's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be behind this. So now I'm gonna have to try to maneuver it around while holding it there, and it's gonna be a lot of fun stuff. But as you can see, we have been putting a lot of hard work, and a lot of the stuff that we've been doing lately, I haven't been filming as much because I've been filming so much in this video. But that's what we've done so far. We've replaced that. I've gotten this ground cable. I've ran some cleaner wires. I found all the wires I don't need. I moved them over here. I routed a whole new ground to the rear. I've done a lot of fun stuff. So now we're just gonna get this done, and hopefully most, but if not all, mechanical things in the car are done. All right, so I realized that the other one on top is now not done, and luckily this transmission has like 6 access points, otherwise I have to pull the entire transmission or the motor, which is something I definitely don't want to do, and it's a lot harder than you think because this entire thing's made differently than any other car. So the only way to see it is literally with my phone.
Just the spring's not around the arm, right?
So yeah, Exactly. So, okay, so what I can see is the spring is literally right there in front of the camera, and way in the distance where you can see there's a shaft. There's this shaft right here where the spring wraps around, and then there is where the spring's supposed to be, which is around the arm like this. So now this one here, as you can see, the spring arm is literally against the clutch, but luckily the other thing is around that shaft, that the spring is around it. I can't see it that well, I can only feel it with my fingers, so I'm just gonna pray to the Lord of all the gods that I can do it with my fingers, and my fingers are strong. Oh, this hurts so bad. Oh my God, I can, but that's hard. Oh, my finger hurts so bad. It's freaking tingling numb. Oh, I got it. Oh, I wasn't recording. I was looking at the video on the screen. I was like staring at it. I was like, okay, this needs to go up and then over and then, and it went on. I was like, oh yes, I'm so happy. All right, so I'm gonna go up in the car. Jeff's gonna give us the prognostic, and then we're gonna see what happens. Prognostic? Do you wanna watch the slave cylinder inside it first? Before when I push down?
I could do that the first time. Let me,
I already feel resistance on it now.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, well, I feel resistance on the clutch pedal. Before it was just sinking, flying all to the ground, not even coming back, so.
Okay, well, let's just do this, and I'll get the air out first. So down?
Okay, down.
Oh yeah, a bunch came out that time. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put the bottle on it right now.
Yeah, I feel pressure now.
Yeah, it's moving it.
Cool, awesome, we're good to go. This is my first time doing this. As you can see, we're at the gas station, and with rotaries, you have to pre-mix it. It's just like kind of like a two-stroke. So we have this this oil here, which is meant for pre-mix. I got it from Kyle Mohan after he built my motor. And we're gonna be putting 5 gallons of 93 in here. And then we're gonna be also mixing this into it, and it's an ounce per gallon. So I have 5 gallons, so that means it's 5 ounces. We'll probably just round it up to 6, because a little bit more is not as bad. I'd rather put more than less. So we're gonna put it all in this gas can. After it's mixed up, then we're gonna put it into the car, as that feels like the best way to mix it up. Right now, I don't know how to do it in the car, but whatever. We'll figure it out. All right, pre-mix, ready to go. Now the rotary is ready to go. We're at a good spot right now. We're as close as we can be to having the startup tune happen tomorrow, but we want to test a couple things, see how things are going. Everything's put together for the most part, but right now we have opened up the program for the computer, the ECU, and now we're seeing if all the sensors are reading everything correctly. So we're gonna just turn it over and do some stuff.
Correct.
I'm gonna show you a little bit about what we're looking at right now. Cool, so we see the battery volts kind of going up now. It's getting some charge. Got the intake air temp.
Can you go ahead and step on throttle?
Yeah. We're gonna see if throttle responds now. Which one is it?
Your TPS up here?
Oh yeah. Okay, now I see it. Yeah, 100%.
Is that all the way down, or does it hit 100 before you hit the very bottom?
It hits it a little bit before it, but that's kind of good. I like that. So it's pretty good. What are you thinking about? He's excited for it to run. Yeah, me too. Honestly, it's been like 8 months for this thing. Kind of longer than I thought, but it's been a while.
Well, I guess I timed my trip well.
Yeah, you did, honestly. Another thing that I did not know, that you can actually test your O2 sensors. You have to be careful doing this, but you grab your O2 sensor and you literally put your lighter up to it. You don't light it, but you put just the fuel, like the butane, up to it, and you'll actually see the reading. We did it earlier, and I was able to see my AFR gauge move, and that was something I learned. I'm super excited for tomorrow, super nervous. Whenever you have a tune day, you know, you have no idea what can go wrong, but I think everything's gonna go great. All right, so we're finally moving the RX-7 now, and we're gonna use our truck, the trusty Honda. I daily drive this thing. We've gotten tickets, pulled over, all kinds of stuff. They think we're crackheads. It's really hilarious. But we're about to tune this crazy Bridgeport RX-7. Awesome, so this is where we're gonna be tuning from. We actually have fiber here at the house. We're gonna be directly connected to the internet here. He's gonna remote in, and we're gonna use that. It also gives us a good little covered area. So yeah, should be fun. Right now, what we're doing is we're teaching the computer what sensors are on it, how to sense it, like what is going on, all this stuff. So basically, we're just teaching the computer to everything that's on it, and we're just gonna get the car running. Once the car runs, you should be able to say like, hey, you either have to fix this problem, or you're either good to drive it down the street and start sending me logs. And once we get logs and stuff like that, then we can start driving it normally on the road. Once we can start driving it normally on the road, then that's when we take it into dyno tuning, and then we put it on the dyno and start going crazy. It was a different case with the Corvette because we needed to get the SEMA, so we literally, with a brand new motor, went straight to the dyno, which is a horrible thing to do. But I'm gonna run 1,000 miles on this car, regular driving, before we go to the dyno, so I can really break in it. Which is not hard here in Texas because everything's freaking 5,000 miles away, so yeah. We have the entire tuning software up on the screen here so we can see everything that's going on. We have the tuner, he's gonna be remoting in right now to be able to see everything. And this is how we're gonna be tuning the car. He's gonna be going in, looking at all this. He's gonna tell us to try to turn on the car. He's gonna turn on the fuel, he's gonna check everything, make sure everything's where it needs to be. And then we will try turning on the car.
If you could please turn the key on, the ignition on.
Yep.
All right. Where did you plug in the EGTs?
Connected to the harness.
But it's on a CAN bus and then connected to the harness.
The ECU's not picking it up. And so is it wired in analog or is through the CAN?
It's the CAN.
So it's almost like you got to think about it like through the CAN, they speak a different language. You know, Haltech speaks Haltech, and AEM speaks AEM language through that CAN.
Okay.
So I'm not saying that it's impossible. Never done it myself, to be honest.
All right, so we're about to start our initial first start. We're going over everything else, just calibrating stuff. So we're about to start. So on the phone with the tuner. It's been an hour and 31 minutes. All right, stepping on it all the way. We're unplugging the sensor on the Haltech, and he's turning it into an elevation sensor. Full throttle 100%, and then crank it over. Okay. Ready, gentle fish? Yeah. Okay, going. How's oil pressure looking? Brandon, do you see anything on the computer if he's looking at it?
Yeah, we still need to build some more.
Okay, so keep.
However, I noticed that the car cranks very slow. About 7 PSI there.
Okay, cool. So I can keep going then? You want me to keep going? I just stopped myself just in case. Okay?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
All right.
Hold on. Let's just
Hold on.
let the starter chill for a second. We don't want to hurt it, but just so you know, the car's supposed to spin. When you crank over, the engine's supposed to spin about 250 RPMs or so. We're cranking over at only 180. Okay, let's try it again. Full throttle.
Okay, full throttle.
So we're gonna attempt an actual real start now.
Okay, can I check the oil real quick?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, thank you. It's about half. I think we can add more. I wanna add more. You guys ready?
Yep.
Okay. About 10% throttle right there.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
A little much. Oh, that was so crazy, bro. Oh my god. So much work on into that, dude. Holy crap. Let me check on the ground. See if everything's good.
Anything?
Just little drops, just the regular little stuff, but I think it's the regular drip, it's just the fan pushing it. All right, guys, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, Nelson, we ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I would say go for it. Nelson, did you see any oil pressure drop at all?
No, oil pressure was good at 150.
Okay, cool. You know, just an oil leak. I'm gonna figure out what the f happened there. That is horrible. This is what will blow your motor, but we caught it so soon, and Brandon, everyone had their eyes on it, and we caught it soon enough. So I'm gonna go under, I'm gonna try to see what is going on and why that even happens. But this is so catastrophic that it could have ruined anything, and thank you so much, Brandon. All right, so we got the line off that just completely blew. I'm going to Evan's shop, the one that I did all of the hose and fittings, and he's gonna be redoing this line. I'm gonna take it with me. Oh, it doesn't have the pin in it, that's why.
What? Yeah, there you go.
It doesn't have the pin that locks it in.
Off.
Yeah, just pushed off.
So see if you can find that pin, that might be your issue.
I have that actually. I know exactly where that's at. I'll be right back. This is what did it. Yeah, I'm just gonna take it with me. This is it. This is what ruined everything because this wasn't properly put back in. God damn, dude. That's so crazy. And you're about to see, this is how I do it. I keep everything, all the old stuff over here. So if I don't use something, it should be over here. If I've already used it, it's gonna be in here. So I'm gonna look through this entire box, but before I do, I'm gonna put this right here. Nope, put it in here. I don't see it there, I don't see it here, I don't see it there. So I'm looking over here, because remember when we took everything apart originally, it sat on here, something like it. Here it is, found it. Oh my God. I'm a mess right now, but that's, I don't know why. I think the meaning of cars is an adrenaline rush, and that was an adrenaline rush right there. So I think we might be good. I'm gonna call Edmund and cancel that order, but I am grateful for them being on standby and ready for them to take an order literally whenever. Let's get this car running and tuned, bro. Oh my God. Yeah, we found it. There's the other one right there.
Awesome.
All right, Jeff got it reconfigured back on. He is now zip tying them together. That was a hell of a process, so that goes to show that the smallest detail matters, and this is why I bag and bolt everything. And when I'm working with multiple people, maybe that might not follow the same things, and maybe I might have misplaced it myself too. But that's why I kind of do everything I try to do. And this wasn't it's a huge one, but it wasn't like catastrophic at this point right now. It could have been. I guess I'm trying to look at the bright side of this, is that at least I'm not having thousands of things going wrong. I'm only having like one thing. So hopefully we don't have more, but if we do, we'll figure them out and we'll get them fixed and we'll get it going. But I'm excited, I'm happy about it, and I'm looking at the bright side, so we're good. I'm adding oil in now, but I am gonna say, definitely thought I was gonna be a lot closer to done with this car, but there is what feels like just the same amount of work as it did to put this thing together as there is after this tune setup, because of how many different things we have to do, changes and things. So I have to fix an oil leak, I have to change sensors, I have to add new control valve idle things that I didn't even know that were deleted on this car. So I've got a lot of time to put into this, but right after this, definitely headed to the body shop, and we're gonna be putting on the body kit. I might have said that multiple times, but I'm really excited for that. But do look forward for another video of once it's come back from the body shop. We're gonna be doing all that work on it and making this thing run better, doing another tune, doing some pulls, doing some street pulls, driving it for 1,000 miles. I'll take you for a full daily drive on what it's like to run this thing and how it goes. And then dyno tuning, and after dyno tuning, we should be good to pamper this thing up and make it look pretty. Because I am not gonna be ruining the body kit or the paint or wrap. Let's do it one more time. We're gonna build oil pressure to like all the way, and then I'll check the oil level one more time, and we'll be good to go. Okay, full throttle, ready to go. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 PSI, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Good. Hey, when everyone's ready, we're all ready to go. Good. We're ready in here. Cool. Ready to go. Okay. Got that. 20. Good? Yeah. Regulate the throttle all by myself. I'm holding it literally right here at 2K. I I can't move it at all, but I'm watching everything. This is the craziest thing ever. I'm super nervous, but I want to show a lot of excitement, and I want to run around happy with joy, but I'm like really scared. This is the most nerve-wracking thing ever, because this is when we go, oh, I hope everything doesn't blow up like it just did. So I'm just like sitting here like, when do I turn off? Because I'm scared. So like, Jeff is down there. That's good. So I'm just sitting here like, oh, I'm so scared. And I don't know if he's gonna yell at me, or he's gonna yell at me, or you're gonna yell at me, and I don't know what if to turn it off, so I'm like high alert right now. 96 PSI. Oil. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. That's high oil pressure. I don't think I usually see that, but the oil pressure is like at 123. Right now it's at 94. We usually at like 120. In about 1 minute, we're gonna turn it off. Is that good? Okay. So another thing I'm gonna have to do is replace the oil cooler lines because they keep getting leaking. So that's another thing. Let me add it to the list. All right, so that was awesome. That was a great session. I also do want to say, like, thank you to Brandon, thank you to Jeff for just taking your time, coming out here, helping with me, just making this possible, and just everybody else that came out. This took a long time. Kyle Mohan, Breyer coming out, Eben, just everyone that came out here and helped out with this entire project. I appreciate it. Even Morrow too. Literally, it wasn't just me; it was everyone. So, thank you, everyone. As of right now, it looks like the base tuning went well. We've got a load of laundry list that we need to do. Luckily, the body shop guy moved from today to Monday, so I've got plenty of time to pamper this thing up. I'm gonna ask a few questions to the tuner. Can I put it around, drive it, just kind of move it from A to B, as we don't want to push it. So I'm gonna ask him about that and see what we can do. But it looks like we got a running car. Exciting plans for the future. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Let me know if there's anything that you feel like we could have done better here, or you feel like that I could be learning, or if there's some way, I don't know. Just let me know how you feel. I'm just stoked about this. This has been really fun. I've learned more from this project than any other project I've worked on. So super stoked to be a part of it. I'm super excited to be a part of the Rotary community. This is a whole nother community that I have not ever seen before. There is so much love and support here. People love these things so much, and I do too, and I see it, and I love it. So yeah, if you don't subscribe, you're getting
top 10 radar. Yeah, we on your radar. Never miss, dog, and that's on occasion.